Hello, thank you for joining me here in beautiful North Devon in the UK. Tonight I have a reading for you called Will My Lover Come Back Soon? Will My Lover Come Back Soon? If that title doesn't apply and your lover hasn't gone anywhere, this reading will be packed full of other things, so stay with me. It's a pick a card reading. There are 4 stacks, 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's a timeless reading, which means you find it today or tomorrow or next year. It makes no difference. When you find this reading, you'll find the readings when your spirit guides want you to find them. So, it's a timeless reading. It's a pick a card reading. I'd like you to pick 1, 2, 3 or 4. And you can pick more than one, of course. And I'll tell you before we start, today each stack will have 4 specific questions to make it a bit more varied. I'll put the questions below if you want to look at them before you choose your stack, or you may want to choose 2 stacks or even 3. Have as many as you want. So if you pick number 1, we'll move these 2, 3 and 4 up there a bit out the way, and we'll get and look at number 1. So if you chose number 1, this is for you. Well, straight away I can see the question is, will my lover come back soon? I can see that you've been through it a bit recently, and the pair of you may have had some kind of problem. As I said, you haven't all got a lover that's coming back soon, but it will still help you with other things. So it's not only for that, but if your lover's away, the question is, will my lover come back soon? And I'll tell you the answer to that in a few moments. But at the moment, I think you're making hard work of everything. The pair of you, you're both as bad. As I said, it won't resonate with all of you. Take in what does and ignore what doesn't. But I think some of you are taking out legal things against them or each other. Only some of you, of course. Some of you have a lover that is aggressive, or not aggressive, but slightly bad-tempered at times, and can be a bit volatile or a bit noisy. He can shout a bit, put it that way. Sometimes he can be a bit of a intimidating, maybe the right word. These are all your negatives. I'll always tell you the negatives first. The short answer to your question, will your lover come back soon? I think the answer is yes, but stick with me, there's lots more to tell you. It appears that you're making things harder than they should be, not only in your love life, number 1, but in your working life as well, or the way you earn your living, the way you survive your earthly life. It seems that you're pushing water uphill, I always call it, and getting nowhere, or putting in too much effort and not getting appreciated. And it's time that you were. Your negatives involve possible aggression from this person or somebody close. They can be a bit bad-tempered sometimes. Thank goodness it doesn't apply to all of you, but it can apply to some of you. I think, apart from that, there are no real negatives. I think some of you are dealing with legal stuff. So 1 or 2 of you may be going through divorces, but of course it won't apply to all of you, thank goodness. But you may be considering legal action or paperwork from solicitors, that sort of thing. Let me tell you the good stuff, but first we'll ask the first question. Your first question is, will he or she change for the better? So your first question, will he or she change for the better? And the answer to that is, I think that, well, normally I say people don't change, and they don't really, but this person can improve for the better, and I think the 2 of you will join together. And before I carry on, I will remind you that at the end of each of these 4 stacks, I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers, magic numbers that could change your life forever. You can use them in lotteries, raffles, casinos, that kind of thing. But I must say, of course, if you're going to gamble with my lucky numbers, do it responsibly. And I'm going to give you 6 new ones at the end of each stack. So there are 6 for each reading. So, and there are 4 questions for each reading. So we've got 16 questions listed below. And the first question for this number 1 reading is, will your lover or he or she improve for the better or change for the better? And the answer is they can, actually, which is unusual. As I said, I always think no one ever changes, but they can if and when you join together, which is going to happen, I believe. So it's a good reading. The signs are that the 2 of you will join together, as depicted by the 2 of Cups. Let me show you that, if you can see that from there where you are. The Two of Cups, of course, would be the Two of Hearts in your normal card deck. So the Two of Cups shows two people joining together, if you haven't already done so. If you already have joined together, then it means that you're going to get closer together. Will he or she improve? I think the answer is yes. Now, there are good news things on other fronts here as well, because some of you be changing your job, and there could be offers coming your way in that regard. You're linked to somebody who is wealthy. Could be a woman that you know, or a chap. It could be a bloke. Someone that's wealthy is in your reading coming forward. And with lots of readings, there are advisors, and your advisor at the moment seems to be an older person. Could be an older man or someone at work, or maybe an uncle or a father figure who you go to when you want to talk to someone who's got a lot of sense. A wise old owl, I always think of. So let's try question number 2 for you. And your second question is, if I can find it, should you just move on? Well, for some of you, that may be an idea, but I think for most of you, the answer is no. Stick with this. If it's a romance we're looking at, stay with it. It may not be a romance, it could be something else that you're looking at. But the information here is quite specific from my spirit guides, from my angels. Don't move on. Don't just let go. Stick with this and give it a bit more time, because this really can turn into something quite special. And stop doing everything the hard way. I think you've had a lot of trouble lately. You've been through a lot of upset, not just lately, probably for years. And now it's time for you to reap the benefits of your past efforts. Karma, in other words. If you're dealing with officialdom, the police, solicitors, parking tickets, speeding fines, that sort of thing, it won't come as a surprise. So be careful, don't get speeding the car. If you're signing legal paperwork, make sure you read it carefully. And if you don't know what to do, get someone to read it for you who does understand it. Because they write them so that they're almost impossible to understand, don't they? Solicitors and people like that, lawyers. So stop making things harder than they should be. On a separate subject, there is a pregnancy in this reading, which will come in lots of them. It often does. So, are you pregnant, number 1? Or is it someone you know? Or are you trying to be? Because there's a baby coming somewhere. That's pretty much a certainty for most of you out there watching this. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And click the bell icon, and you'll never miss my readings then. And I normally do 1 a week, or 2 if I can. So, your third question is he or she two-timing you? Are you being deceived? The answer again, I don't think you are, no. And yet this comes in lots of readings, but if you're being two-timed, or the person's seeing someone else, it may be that they're married and you already know anyway. So if they are two-timing you, I think it's something that you're aware of, that you know that there's another woman. But I don't think that's the case for most of you. I think you're dealing with a free agent here who can be bad-tempered sometimes, and it soon goes. He soon calms down. He doesn't mean it, but he can sometimes make you jump or surprise you with being a bit snappy sometimes. I say he, it could be a she, of course. We may be looking at a girl, but the majority of people that watch this kind of reading are ladies, and so a lot of you will be looking at a man. Some of you will be looking at a girl, of course. But the message is here that you are going to get closer together. So stay with it. And your fourth question is he or she trustworthy? Well, it's a similar answer, really. I think for all their faults, and they've got a few, you can trust him or her. You can. I think there were times when they were younger, when they were a bit flirtatious. But I think now you can trust them, what they say. If they say they're going to do something, I think they will do it. Most of the time, anyway. we all have our moments, of course, but generally speaking, you can trust this person, and I think you're onto a good thing. But I'm not suggesting that you're soulmates. As you know, I often say, if you're one of my subscribers, soulmates are quite rare. They're not something you pick up every day. Your soulmate can be your brother or your sister, not always your lover. Now we're going to look at some oracle cards, and then I'm going to give you your magic numbers. Don't go away without your lucky numbers, because they could change your life. You could hit the jackpot, and I want to know down there if you do, okay? And don't forget to share me with your friends. Click, like, subscribe and share. That's the things I always forget to tell you. Oracle cards, we do 4 of these. They've been shuffled. And the first one for you, number 1, is a water card. And where's the shades? Here they are. That's a beautiful photograph. Look at that. Lovely. A lady looking out across the water. Is she waiting for her lover to come back? Remember the question? Will my lover come back soon? This one says to you, number 1, you're in touch with your truth. Trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. So, if he's a bit bad-tempered, or she, lovingly assert yourself. Don't be pushed around, in other words. You're in touch with your own truth. Trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. I hate that expression, gut. But trust your inner feelings and lovingly assert yourself. Make yourself known that you're not going to be bullied or snapped at too much. You won't change people, as I said, but this one can change a bit. Your second card is a fire card. A campfire, how lovely. Reminds me of that song Rocky Mountain High by John Denver. And you can see the northern lights there as well. So, ignite the fire within you that connects you to the divine. Remember, number 1, that tells me you're quite spiritual. A lot of you have psychic ability. So ignite the fire inside you that connects you to the divine. I know that most of you will know what that means. Next one's another fire card. This one, oh dear. I think it's a close-up of the same fire. Anyway, this one's saying to you, number 1, harness your creativity, excitement and enthusiasm, and great things will happen. Harness your creativity, excitement and enthusiasm, and great things will happen. Get your enthusiasm going. Get your fire lit inside you, and great things will happen. This is a very good reading. One more, another one. This one's a water card. I'm glad I wasn't doing that photograph, but I don't exactly swim like a duck. More like a brick going downwards. Anyway, this one says to you, open your heart and mind to those around you. Open your heart and your mind to those around you. I think it's telling you to be a bit more open, to show people that you are listening to them, especially if they're criticizing this man or lady. Listen to what they say, but open your heart. Let your feelings show. Don't be afraid, because I think you've been hurt in the past. Who hasn't, as they say. Now, I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers. These lucky numbers could change your life forever. You can use a couple of them. You don't need all 6. Maybe in a casino or something, or on the local tote or something, whatever it is. Or you can put all the 6 on a lottery. But here they come. You may want a pen, or you may want to pause the video. So there are 6 lucky numbers for every stack, by the way, so you can pick more than one stack. Your lucky numbers are number 4, 13, 19, 27, 37 and 41. These numbers were chosen by me with my spirit guides before we started filming tonight in beautiful North Devon in the UK. And if you haven't been to North Devon, come and pay a visit. You'll love it. It's wonderful. So give me one more time. 4, 13, 19, 27, 37 and 41. Please comment below. If you've got any questions for me, put them down there. I'll try and answer them. I answer all of my comments, as you may know. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Give me a like if you like it, and share them with your friends. Click the bell icon All these things to remember, isn't it? Click the bell icon and you'll never miss one of my videos. And I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're doing one of the other stacks, I'll see you in a second. And I'm going to get ready now for number 2. So remember number 1, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you will be loved. And of course, I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hello, thank you for staying with me. If you chose number 2, this one is for you. Don't forget, we're going to do 6 lucky numbers at the end of this that could change your life. 6 magic numbers chosen by me with my spirit guides just before we started filming tonight here in beautiful North Devon. My name's David Charles, international psychic medium, and tonight we have a reading for you entitled, Will My Lover Come Back Soon? Will my lover come back soon? So, if you're not waiting for your lover to come back soon, please don't go, because this reading will be packed with other information. And it's a pick a card reading, and you chose number 2, and a timeless reading, which means you can find it today or in 10 years' time. You'll find this reading number 2 when you're meant to find it, when your spirit guides want you to find it. So you've chosen these cards from these hundreds of cards here. There will be a message in here for you somewhere. Maybe not all of it will resonate. Take in what does, ignore what doesn't, but don't go away without your lucky numbers. Now, each of these stacks tonight is coming with 4 specific questions. Now, they may not all be relevant to you. Of course, they can't be relevant to everybody. But stay around. If you want to know what the questions are before you watch this, they're going to be down there. And you can click the time and go straight to each question. And let's start with the negatives. The main question is, will my lover come back soon? Are you waiting for someone to come back? Excuse me. Now then, the negatives are that you're stuck in a rut. Some of you, not all of you of course, you feel trapped. You feel as though you're not getting anywhere, and some of you are wanting to get out of it. You're wanting to move on, and you feel as though you can't, but you can. It's only a feeling. So remember, you can if you want to. But the question is, do you really want to? Because I see also that you're ignoring things and putting things off and hoping things are not real. Maybe the person you're looking for has got some faults and that you don't like, and you're ignoring them. If so, don't. As I said, it won't apply to all of you. Take in what does and ignore what doesn't. There are not many negatives here, but I can see there are 2 separate messages from the spirit world that you're considering walking away. Now, I assume for a lot of you it's this person you're thinking of walking away from. I'll repeat, don't do anything without considering it first. Listen to some of my readings before you do it. There are negatives in the reading, which means you may have negative habits, you may have negative thoughts about things, or you may just be mixing with negative people, and you could do with avoiding them really, because negative people will bring you down. So the message from the spirit world with negatives is usually get rid of them. So if you've got negative habits like smoking or taking a bit of pot sometimes or worse, try and get rid of it. If your person is negative, then you may need to do the walking away thing. But we'll see, because you've got some questions coming in a moment. At the moment, I think you're stuck in a rut, or you feel like you are. And we'll take a look now at question number 1, which is, let's have a look. Will your family accept him or her? As I said, it won't apply to everyone, but some of you will be asking the question, will my family accept him or her? And I think the answer is mostly yes. There may be some problems with some of you with different religions, but for most of you the answer is yes. But they are also concerned about your happiness. They are genuinely, not like an interference thing where they're not having it anyway. I think some of you have a family that are concerned about your happiness, but there are some complications. And you may know, if you know about tarot cards, that this reading indicates a pregnancy. That number 1 did as well, but they do come up a lot because a lot of people get pregnant. But this reading does indicate a pregnancy. Are you pregnant, number 2, or are you trying to be? Somebody around you already is, quite a way into it as well, I think. But if it's not you, it may be you to come. So the question is, will my family accept him or her? For most of you, the answer is yes. They may not want to at first, but I think you'll win them over if you decide to stick around. As I said, some of you are thinking of packing it in. All of you have got some karma coming, as depicted by the Major Arcana Judgment card. There it is. It usually means, it doesn't always mean this, but it usually means karma coming your way. It means you're going to get what you deserve. Number 2. So if you've been naughty, you're going to pay for it. If you've been good, you're going to be rewarded. Most of you have been good. 1 or 2 of you have been a bit naughty, and you may be getting the cane off to your teacher at school. And if you're at school, you shouldn't be watching this, by the way. I'm only joking. So karma is coming. And for most of you, karma will be good. It usually is in psychic readings, because the spirits tend to be, despite what you watch in Hollywood films, the spirit world tend to be positive with most things. So I'm going to tell you the negatives and the positives, but get rid of the negatives, get rid of negative people. Don't hurt them, but keep away from negative people if you can. You can't always, you may be working with them. If you're thinking of giving something up, it may not be this chap or this girl, it could be cigarettes or something. Think about it. And there's a lady coming your way who is quite a sensible lady. For some of you it will be a man, but for most of you it's a lady. I'm picking up a lady who's smart, successful, intelligent, and could be someone that you know quite well. I think she's on this side. I don't think it's a spirit guide, and she may be important. Of course, if you're a chap or a lady, it may be the lady you're waiting to come back. Will my lover come back soon? That's the question. And the answer is yes, but for some of you, I don't think you're sure that you want them to. So you may be watching this reading for curiosity purposes. As I said, it would pack with other information as well. Let's take a look at your next question. And your next question is, will you be together forever? Your next question is, will you be together forever? I don't necessarily think that you will. I don't necessarily think that all of you want to be, and some of you won't even like the question, but for the ones of you that do, I don't really pick up from my spirit guides that you're soulmates. I think if you stay together forever, and you can do, but I think it'll be for the wrong reasons. Some people stay together because of children, because of financial things. They can't leave each other because one of you would be homeless. That can be the case, of course, as you well know, without me telling you that. But if you are together forever, it will be okay. I just don't think that the love will be like it was when you first fell in love, put it that way. You can prove me wrong, of course, by rekindling the love. That's why you have readings, to change things. If I told you you're going to get run over by a bus, you'd make sure you didn't. So you can rekindle this. The pregnancy can complicate things. And as far as being together forever, you're going to have to work at that if you want that to be the case. Hope you're with me. Your next question, question number 3. Is, will your, this is important, it's just linked to the last one really, will your love for each other grow stronger or just fade away? Will your love for each other grow stronger or will it just fade away? The same answer really. You may need to work at this, and I do believe you can. I don't think this is a bad person, and I certainly don't think you are, number 2. I think you can make it grow stronger. I don't think you should let it fade away. If you decide to walk away, as I've mentioned so many times, then of course it will fade away. Let me tell you a few separate messages here. There's a lump of money coming your way, a lump sum of money coming your way soon, maybe with the lucky numbers I'm going to give you in a few minutes. Don't go without them. There could be 2 sums of money coming your way. The first sum of money you need to keep, don't blow it. The second sum of money you may need to help you with your family, you may want to be a bit generous with it. One of these sums of money could be quite significant. As I said, stay with me for the lucky numbers. But you have two messages of money here. You can see the pentacles here. They normally mean money. There's one there and one there, look. So money is coming. Be aware of that. Let's try your next question. And that, your last question is, I may need to pause it there. I do try not to cut my videos. You may notice I don't go flashing about all the time. If I make a mistake, I'll leave it in. So this one is, will he or she call you soon? Well, will he or she call you soon? For some of you that will mean, of course, that they're not calling you as often as you'd like them to. And I think some of you are being a bit stubborn and not calling him or her either. And that usually gets you nowhere. So although one of you has to give in, you're maybe concerned that it shows that you're being prepared to be pushed around a bit, or to give him or her the upper hand. And there's a courting game going on here. So will he or she contact you or call you soon? Again, it's a positive answer. I think the answer is yes. I still think some of you don't want him to or want her to. But for a lot of you out there, yeah, there will be contact soon. I'm sure there will. So you have high fertility, which means growth, expansion, things taking off. It can mean new jobs. It can mean new friends. It can mean pregnancy, as I've said. You have money coming. You've got to stop looking at things and turning away and pretending they're not there. In other words, be realistic. If the person, I'm not saying he has or she has, but if the person has faults, then stop turning a blind eye to them. Because your family will know, your friends will know, so they'll say, what about this and what about that? And you'll say, oh no, he's okay, she's okay. But if they have faults, own up to them in your own mind, okay? I'm going to give you lucky numbers in a minute. Before that, we're going to look at 4 oracle cards and see if they back up what the main reading messages from the spirit world are from my angels. And your first oracle card is a fire card. And this card, it looks like a campfire on the edge of a cliff. Someone's having a late barbecue on the edge of a cliff, it looks like. How lovely and romantic. This card says to you, number 2, you're connected to source. The light that shines through you leads the way, okay? You're connected to the spirit world, in other words. And a lot of you will already know that without me telling you. You're connected to the source. The light that shines through you leads the way. So people are inspired by you, number 2. And that will apply to this man or lady. Will my lover come back soon? That will apply to them. They know the light that shines through you inspires them. So don't be too hard on yourself. Remember that you have some special qualities, number 2. Next one's a fire card again. This one's got the moon over a forest. Is it going up or going? I think it's going up, isn't it? It's rising. This is a bit similar to the last one. Pay attention to your ideas as they are messages from the divine. So if you're getting ideas that you've never had before, really, they're messages from the divine, from your spirit guides, that got you to pick this number, that got you to watch this channel, that got you, I hope, to subscribe. Please subscribe, give me a like and all that business. Click the bell icon and you won't miss any of my videos. Don't forget to subscribe. And share me with your friends. What's the word? Like, subscribe and share. That's the one. Not all this mask stuff, the COVID stuff. Very similar, isn't it? So let's do that one again. Pay attention to your ideas as they are messages of the divine, okay? Interesting, number 2. Your next one is an air card. What happens when you see a feather? What do they say when you see a feather? Some of you will know the answer to that. A lot of people think you've been visited by an angel. or you are being visited by an angel. This one says to you, number 2, the answer is near. You just need to look a little closer to home. So if you're searching for something, an answer, don't look out there to the world. It's right under your nose. That's what it means. The answers you're looking for, you probably already know. As I said, don't be unrealistic. If the person has faults, admit them. If they have great qualities, then see that too. Don't just look for faults. I don't want it to be negative for you. So the answer to is near. You just need to look a little bit closer to home, number 2. One more oracle card. It's an earth card this time. A road off into the sunset. It actually leads to the sun, look. Amazing. This one says to you, help is coming. You just need to ask for it. So, remember the lady I mentioned that's quite successful? It may be her that you need to ask for help. She's good at giving advice. If not, you'll know who it is. Help is there if you want it, if you need it. You just need to ask. Number 2. Hope you found that interesting. I'm going to give you 6 lucky numbers now, chosen by me with my angels, my spirit guides, before we started filming tonight. These 6 numbers can change your life forever. As I keep saying, you must gamble responsibly. If you gamble with them, don't get us into trouble. You may recognize these numbers. They may be birthdays, wedding days, anniversaries, the day you got married, the day you got divorced. They may be the numbers of your children's birthdays or something like that, if you've got children. Let's take a look. Your first number, as I said I think earlier, you don't need to use all 6. Just a couple of them may do it if you're in a casino or something, but all 6 if you want for the lottery. Your first number is number 5, number 9, 28, 29, 31 and 46. Do they ring any bells? Number 2? Give them you again, just in case. They are 5, 9, 28, 29, 31 and 46. These numbers could change your life forever. Let me know down there if you win the jackpot. I'll be interested to know. And I won't tell anyone, I promise. So, thank you so much for watching that. Please subscribe, share me with your friends, click like and all that stuff and the bell icon. And I normally upload videos once a week, more if I get time, because they take a long time to do. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers. I do appreciate you being there and your comments. Please comment below. Remember number 2, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you'll be loved. And I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hello. If you chose number 3, this one is for you. This reading is called Will My Lover Come Back Soon? Will my lover come back soon? There you are. Now, if that's not the case, if your lover hasn't gone anywhere, don't go anywhere, because this reading is going to be packed with information about other things as well. And it's a timeless reading, which means you can find it today, next year, 10 years from now. It makes no difference when you find this. You'll find this reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. If you've picked this reading today, you've chosen this channel, thank you. You've picked this stack of cards from all of these hundreds of cards. Pardon me, there will be a message in here for you somewhere, number 3. There could be a few messages. Now this reading and all the 4 readings is going to have 4 specific questions. The questions won't relate to all of you either. Just take in what does and ignore what doesn't. The 4 questions will be pinned down below, so if you want to look at them before you watch this, you can. So there's 4 with each reading, that's 16 questions. And at the end of the reading, I'm going to give you 6 magic lucky numbers that were chosen with my angels, by myself and my angels, before we started filming tonight here in beautiful North Devon in the UK. These 6 lucky numbers could change your life forever. You could win the jackpot. As I always say, if you're going to use these numbers for gambling, be careful, gamble responsibly, or you'll get us all into trouble. So, If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And thank you if you have. I do appreciate all my subscribers. They're a fantastic family from all over the planet. Please join us. Give us a like if you like it. Share me with your friends and all that business. And click the bell icon and you'll never miss a reading. Let's have some fun now. Will my lover come back soon? Will my lover come back soon? So, are you waiting for someone to come back? Let me tell you the negatives first, because first of all, number 3, your reading is shrouded in secrecy. Are you being secretive? Comes up in lots of readings. Or is he or she being secretive? Are you waiting for some lover to come back? He or she? Or something else? That doesn't have to be your only question. This reading will be filled with questions. It seems to me that you're overdoing it. You're not seeing things clearly. Number 3, you're not seeing things clearly at all. You're making things cloudy and you're muddying the waters. I don't think you're ignoring things. I just think you're missing something because of secrecy. It can mean that you're being secretive, but I rather believe that somebody, possibly this person, has got something to hide. As I always say, when people keep secrets, it's not always a nasty thing. They can keep secrets because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to tell you something bad. But there's secrecy around you. That's a definite for most of you, okay? I always tell you the negatives first. We do the nice stuff at the end. Keep all the good stuff to the end. But some of you have been a bit down in the dumps. Some of you may have been a bit depressed and may still be. I'm picking up tears in your reading, number 3. Have you been crying? Have you wanted to cry and couldn't? Are you being sad at night and it's preventing you from sleeping? As I said, I'll keep saying it won't apply to all of you. Take in what does, ignore what doesn't, or pick a different card number. You can have as many as you want. But some of you have been a bit down. Some of you have been crying, and some of you, as I say, the symbolism of this can be that you've been crying over spilt milk, that you're wishing you could change something you did recently or maybe years ago. But you can't change it. You can only learn from it. Maybe apologize if you have to, if you need to. But I think a lot of you are waiting. You're waiting for things to happen. Hence the question, will my lover come back soon? I think you're waiting and you feel as though nothing's going on, but I think soon it will start to. So let's get to the positives. On a totally different subject, there's some money coming your way. Before we move to the positives, let's get your first question. Your first question, and it's a question that, as I said, may not be relevant, but let's get to your first question. And your first question is, will you be married or will you stay married? Will you be married or will you stay married? Not necessarily to this person. The question is, will you be married or will you stay married? I believe that some of you, I keep repeating, not all of you, are about to receive an offer of a romantic kind. So some of you, I think, before this next 10 or 12 weeks is up from when you find this video, some of you are going to be finding that somebody is going to ask you to marry them. Now that's a big statement from me, so I'm pushing my luck, but I believe that's the case for lots of you. There's a marriage proposal. Doesn't mean you'll take it. You may say no. But there's something big coming up from a man or lady, a person of a romantic nature, possibly one of the water signs, or something very similar. They're very lovey-dovey, they're very romantic, they dream a lot. And they dream a lot of you, number 3. So somebody is very, very fond of you indeed. And they may be asking you to marry them. Now, if that's not the case, you may be asked to move in together. That could be one of the questions coming up. I haven't looked at them yet. But we'll see. So let's get to the negatives. The negatives is secrecy, a bit of a pause going on where you're waiting for things. I think you're making life harder than it should be, really making things worse than they should be. I think you're a bit down in the dumps, and that concerns me because I don't like to think of any of my subscribers being down in the dumps or fed up. But that can change. Watch the other readings. But the positives are your finances are improving. I did say a lump sum of money, but I don't necessarily think it's a lump sum of money. I just think you have general financial improvement coming, number 3. So that could be good. The main thing I'm picking up, one of the main things I'm picking up is that you have with you now, right now, a female spirit guide. For lots of you, this will apply at this very moment. They're with you now, whether you're in the car, whether you're at work, whether you're on the beach, walking the dog, or taking a bath. You have with you right now a spirit guide. For most of you, it's a lady. For some of you, it will be a man. This may be why you've been guided to pick this channel, David Charles Psychic, to pick number 3. From these hundreds of cards, you've chosen these. Your psychic, your spirit guides are there. One of them is with you right now. So you may know who that is. Please comment below if that's the case, or if you feel it's the case. But for me, I think for today, the message from me is that things are getting better for you. Your second question, let's take a look at your second question. Your second question is, number 3, will I have children or more children? Will I have children or more children? Now, as I've said in the last 2 readings, there's pregnancies around. I'm not picking up pregnancies in this one, but I do believe, although the spirit guides are not saying, yes, you definitely will have children, I do believe that you can have children or more children if you so desire. For most of you out there, it won't apply to all of you. Some of you may be past it, a bit too old for it. Some of you may be too young for that. But some of you, although you may have children already, may be planning on at least one more. But I believe that you're going to need to make that happen. It's not preordained. That's the beauty of having readings. You can change the things you don't like. There's no definite, yes, you will have children in this reading, but there's no message saying that you cannot either. So you may need to make it happen. So if you're feeling a bit that way, a bit maternal, you can do it. There's nothing to say you can't. I'm picking up a celebration here for you, number 3. Something's coming up big. It could be a wedding, as I mentioned. It could be a birthday. Got a birthday coming maybe, or he or she. Could be someone else's birthday, or a hen party, or a stag night. There's a big party coming up. You may have a glass or 2. And it's going to bring such happiness, so don't miss it. I'm hoping that it's yours, but it could be one you're invited to. Let's take a look at your next question. Your next question, number 3, is there interference from outsiders? Is there interference from outsiders between you and this person? And I believe that there may be. That is why I think I'm picking up some secrecy. There could be someone causing trouble, poking their nose in, as we say in England here, and it's being kept from you. Now, I don't think that they can do any damage as far as a romance is concerned, like keeping you apart. In fact, I don't think anyone can. Your parents, his parents, family, anyone. Because if the feelings are there, nothing will keep you apart. If the feelings are there of love, nothing will stop it. It's the most powerful force in the universe by a long, long way. Nothing will beat the power of love. You heard it here first. David Charles Psychic, international psychic medium. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a like if you like it. Share with your friends and all the other stuff. What's the other stuff? Click the bell icon, that's it, yeah. And it'd be lovely to have you in our subscribers. Financial improvement, number 3. A party, an offer of romantic nature, probably a marriage or a proposal. It could be that you're offered, if it's not a marriage, this person may ask you to move in with him or her, to live like married, although you're not going to get married. Of course, some of you are already married. So let's take a look at your next question. Your last question, number 3, is he or she your true soulmate? Well, we've touched on this already a bit already. I don't think necessarily that they are your soulmate, but as I say in almost every reading I do, soulmates are quite rare. They're not everyone you meet and fall in love with is your soulmate. Your soulmate can be your sister or your brother or your friend. But that is not all that important. If the person isn't your soulmate, it's not the end of the world. You can still spend a whole life together. You're not shown to me to be like Romeo and Juliet, as I always say, they got killed anyway. But you don't look like Cinderella either and Prince Charming. But those kind of romances are quite rare, and they very often don't last forever. Look at what happened to Princess Diana and Charles. So they don't, that's a terrible example, isn't it? But they don't last forever always. But I don't think you're soulmates. I don't think you're true soulmates. And you're going to probably not like me for that. But I've got to tell you what I'm being told by my spirit guides. But it makes no difference. You can still be a loving couple. The messages here from Spirit are very positive for you, so don't worry about that too much. Now stick around for your lucky numbers, because they could change your life forever and you could get a big wedding then. But I'm going to give you 4 oracle cards first, to see if they back up what I've been telling you, number 3. And your first one is an air card. I've got to use the bike for this. First one's an air card, and it says for you, pink clouds. Look at the pink clouds. Are they really pink clouds, or is that Photoshop? Answers on a postcard down there, please. So, anyway, looks like candy floss. In America, you call it cotton candy, I think, or something like that. Each thought leaves an echo. Keep yours positive only from now on. We've had this a lot, this card. Number 3, each thought leaves an echo. Keep yours positive only from now on. It's telling me that you may recently have been a bit negative. Number 3. And it's time for you to be positive. And the spirit world, the messages from my angels and spirit guides are that the question is my lover coming back soon? I think he is, if he's gone away. For a lot of you that won't be the question, of course, but it's still an interesting reading. And I think it's telling me that you're quite psychic. I'm telling you again, each thought leaves an echo, keep yours positive. So they're saying to you, as far as this person is concerned, try to stay positive. If you get disappointed, I'll be very surprised, because I think for most of it, it's very good. But keep your thoughts positive. Try not to see just negatives in him or her or other people. I know it's not easy, because a lot of you are quite analytical, number 3, but just try and be positive if you can. That's the message from the oracle card. Let's try another one. The next one's an air card again, I think. Oh yeah. What was it? Yeah, both air cards. Now this one, a bit scary, this. Balloons floating over the sea, and it's getting dark. Some of these cards are a bit scary, aren't they? Anyway, this one says, meditate on your decision and the right answers will come to you. Trust it. Meditate on your decision. So think about what you're going to decide, and the right answer will come to you, and trust it. So if you know how to meditate, well, just relax. Lay on the couch, relax, don't fall asleep, stay awake. Think about your decision, what you're going to decide about all this, about him or her. The right answer will come to you, then you can trust it. If not, watch one of my other videos. There's over 100 out there. David Charles Psychic, or Psychic David Charles. If you want a proper reading with me, go to my website, davidcharlespsychic.com. And if I'm not free, you can book one of my team that work for me, and I only employ the best. My elite team will help you. So, let's do another one. An earth card, number 3. This is, could be France. You won't see that, I don't think, but that's a field filled with sunflowers. And the sun going down. And let's have a look what it says for you. It says, heal the critic in your mind and your body will grow stronger every day. So, heal the critic in your mind and your body will grow stronger every day. So stop criticizing yourself. Try not to criticize others. It mentioned seeing the positives, remember? So these oracle cards are all linking each other, which is weird because they've all been shuffled. Heal the critic in your mind, and your body will grow stronger every day. A lot of you, number 3, will know what that means already without me telling you. So think about it. I hope you're enjoying this. One more oracle card, then your lucky numbers. Don't go without your lucky numbers. This is an air card. A fluffy white tree in a field. I think that's a tree with no leaves on, and somebody's added a few on there. Maybe Photoshop. This channel's an advert for Photoshop, you know that? Not really. I'm only joking. Anyway, show the universe some gratitude and it will reward you with inspiration. It's telling me, all of this reading is telling me that you've been a bit down, you've been a bit fed up, you may have been a bit depressed, and you're looking for inspiration. And this oracle card says, show the universe some gratitude and it will reward you with inspiration. I don't think you're ungrateful anyway, but I think it means show the universe that you believe the powers are out there, and they are out there, believe me, they are out there. And I'm going to give you 6 magic numbers. You may only need 2 or 3 of them, you don't have to use all 6. These numbers could change your life for the better. If you win the jackpot, put it down there, I promise I won't tell anyone. Let me know if you win the jackpot or a big win. And if you're gambling with these numbers, do it responsibly or you'll get us all into trouble, okay? These numbers may be familiar. They could be birthdays, wedding days, anniversaries, the day you had your children, or addresses you've lived at. Or they may mean nothing, but they will mean something soon. So, your lucky numbers are 5, 14, 22, I'll see that one, 28, 38 and 44. Do they mean anything to you? Are they familiar? Let me know down below if they are. I'll tell you them again. 5, I'll keep the glasses on this time, 14, 22, 28, 38 and 44. These numbers could change your life, literally. But don't go mad gambling too much. They could be the number of a horse you want to put a bet on. Could be anything. You have some good stuff here. Thank you so much for watching here in beautiful North Devon. My name's David Charles, International Psychic Medium. And please consider subscribing. Give us a like if you like it. Share me with your friends on social media. And don't forget to use your lucky numbers. What else is that? Click the bell icon. That's it. I never forget something. Click the bell icon and you'll never miss one of my videos. And I do usually 1 a week, 2 if I can. Remember number 3 as I prepare for number 4. Remember number 3, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you'll be loved. And I love every one of you. Take it easy. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Hello, thank you for staying with me. If you chose number 4, this one is for you. This is a timeless reading, which means you can find it today, next week, next year, 10 years from now. It makes no difference when you find it. You'll find this reading when your spirit guides want you to find it. And tonight, you have chosen number 4. I hope you chose number 2, 3 as well. You can have as many as you want, but you chose number 4. From these hundreds of cards, you picked these 8, okay? Which means there will be a message in here for you somewhere, number 4, probably more than one. Now then, this reading ends with 6 lucky numbers. 6 lucky numbers chosen by me with my angels, my spirit guides, before we started filming tonight. These lucky numbers could change your life forever. You could win the jackpot, so don't go away without these lucky numbers. As I have to say, of course, if you're going to gamble with them, you must do it responsibly. Don't get overdoing it and get us all into trouble. But these numbers are good. They can change your life. Now these cards come here with tonight 4 individual questions, because you may not be waiting for your lover to come back. The reading is called, Will My Lover Come Back Soon? Will my lover come back soon? If you're not waiting for that, don't worry. This reading will be packed with other information. There are 4 questions for you, and they're down there. If you want to look at them first, they'll be down there. I'll label them down there for you with the timestamps, so you can go to all 16 questions in the 4 readings, and I'm going to give you one at a time. So stick around for that, because it's very interesting tonight. We're slightly changing things to make things a bit more varied for you. So, number 4, I'm going to tell you the negatives first, get them out of the way, and then we tell you the positives. And my readings are usually uncut. I try not to cut them if I can help it. And if you want a full-length reading with me, on my own, or with my team that work for me, and I only employ the best, go to davidcharlespsychic.com. I'll put the website address below as well for you. davidcharlespsychic.com. You can book me on there, or one of my team that work for me. As I said, they are the elite. If they don't get to be the best, they don't get in my team. The main negatives here, number 4, the main negative is a loss. I'm picking up a loss. So have you lost something recently? And I'm really looking 12 to 14 weeks from the day you find this. So 12 to 14 weeks ahead, there could be a loss. Now, losses in readings, as I say so often, are usually avoidable. So be careful with valuables, with your money, with your credit. Don't lose your job. Be careful, behave yourself. Don't be late for work. Don't gamble too much unless you use my lucky numbers, of course. But watch out you don't lose your credit card, your phone, and don't lend people money because you'll lose it. Don't lend them your records or your CDs because you'll lose them. Watch out for a loss. Losses can be severe sometimes, but not deaths and bereavements. That's Hollywood rubbish. The spirit world do not predict death in readings. That's Hollywood stuff, as I said. And if you see a death in a reading, it's because you know there's one coming anyway. Somebody's not well. But that's very unusual. And they certainly won't be shown on my readings because I wouldn't tell you anyway. Your reading today, your negatives, number 4, indicate arguments. Have you been arguing with this person that you're waiting? Some of you are waiting to come back. Remember, it's called Will My Lover Come Back Soon? For those of you who are waiting, there may have been arguments. Have you been arguing? Because the message is, with all psychic readings, if arguments are shown, it means you'll lose them. So don't argue. In nearly every case, if you get stuck in arguments, you're going to lose, including legal arguments. So if your friends are arguing down the pub or in the gym or whatever, don't get involved. Keep out of it. Don't get dragged into conflict because you'll lose. And that, of course, as I always say, includes getting involved with legal stuff, legal arguments. So if you're having a divorce or anything, you'll probably come out the worst. So try and avoid solicitors if you can. Or, in America, lawyers. You're not sleeping very well, most of you, a lot of you, number 4. This tells me that something is worrying you, you're anxious about something. I don't see a reason for it, unless you've lost something, as I mentioned, or you're frightened of losing something. But you're not sleeping well at all. I see you alone at night with your worries for company. That's the way I always look at insomnia. Because insomnia is nearly always, not always, because it can be caused by medical things, but a lot of the time, sleep problems are caused by worry. And your mind is searching for answers to some worry. And if you can't sleep, I often say this, make yourself think about a nice memory. Christmas when you were 5 years old, or a birthday when you're younger, a special day when you're younger. If you think about that day and go through every minute from the minute you got up to putting on your dress or your suit, whatever. If it's a birthday, what presents you had, you'll be asleep like that, no time. Fast asleep. You won't sleep while your mind is searching into the future, because the future hasn't happened yet. Unless, of course, you look at my readings. Anyway, the negatives here are of a possible loss. Is the person coming back soon? I think the person is coming back soon. And I think it may be the same rigmarole you've had all along. So it doesn't look like a marriage made in heaven. That's the wrong expression if you're not married, obviously. But there could be problems. But I do think they're coming back. And I think they're coming back soon. But watch out for arguments. Watch out for insomnia, lack of sleep. Don't lose things. And let me tell you some positives, because there's a child in the reading. Have you got a child? Or you could have 6 or 7, but you may have one young one I'm picking up. Or has he or she got one? As I said, there could be a lot, but I'm picking up a young child in this reading that could be linked, strangely, to lowering your levels of stress. Do you understand what that means? Because I don't, but you may understand what that means, number 4. A child or a youngster, could be a young teenager, your youngest child could be a teenager. They could be linked to helping you down the ladder of stress, getting your stress levels down. Chill out, cool it. You have a male spirit guide guiding you lots of the time. Could be with you now, I'm not certain. But there's a male spirit guide, there's a big influence on you that almost certainly got you to pick my channel to watch number 4 reading, and you can watch the others as well if you want. And the male spirit guide could be your granddad, someone you've lost, or a father figure, or your father in some cases, of course. But it's a kind, straightforward person, a person that wouldn't possibly have believed in life after death, but he certainly does now, because he's coming to see you frequently. And if you can't sleep, talk to him. I think a lot of you will know who it is. But I have to say, number 4, it could be a female, of course, for some of you. But for most of you, I'm picking up that it's a chap, a man in spirit. Someone you may have loved when he was alive. Could be an old granddad you didn't even know, but he's there. A father figure, a granddad figure, an older man. Could be an older man that used to work with you. It could be anyone, but it's someone that's with you. Your reading indicates some good stuff. There is a pregnancy, that's the 3rd one tonight. But they are very common in these readings because a lot of people get pregnant. So you don't have to be psychic to know that, but there is a pregnancy. If you're working, number 4, there's improvement around your work. The person we're looking at, will they come back soon? Will my lover come back soon? Could be linked to your work for some of you. And that can be awkward sometimes, because sometimes it's not always good to work with the person you love. If you really are soulmates, then it's great. Your stress levels will go down. As I said, it could be linked to a child or children. And the reading indicates a run of extreme good fortune. There we have the Wheel of Fortune from the Major Arcana, and it's the right way up. That normally means, depending on what surrounds it, that your luck is changing for the better. So don't go without your lucky numbers, because they could make your life change dramatically for the better. What else we got? Improvement with your career is predicted. I think the person is coming back soon. I think if there's been problems, they're still going to be there, so you need to change it. That's why you have readings, so you can make changes. So if you've had a boring time, you got fed up with each other, or you're fed up with his or her habits, or she is with you or he is with you, you may need to change things. Otherwise, you're just going to plod on with the same old rubbish if that's what you've had. And if you want to change things, you can do that. You won't change a person very often. Some number 1 reading tonight, the person could change, but usually you won't change the person. But as I see your luck's changing for the better, number 4, then this can mean that your love life can improve. So work on it. It's worth working on. The loss in the reading can mean losing each other. Be aware of that, because I don't want you to lose each other. Let's take a look at your first question. Your first question is, your first question, I should have a gap there for the caption. Your first question is, will you move into a home together? Well, as I'm looking at this and your luck is improving, you can do that. I think some of you already have done so. If you've already done so, it can mean that you're moving house to a different location together. And I think the answer is yes. I think your job's improving, your career prospects, and if it's not, then it's his as well. It could be both of you. So that can help you move as well. Let's take a look at your second question. Does he or she really love you? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but there's not really a lot of love in the reading. Now that can mean that you already know about that. If you're already deeply, madly in love, the spirits won't tell you, because you already know. The spirits tend to tell you things that you don't know already. But as far as I see here, I use the expression a lot. You don't look like Cinderella riding on a white horse into the sunset. You don't look like Romeo and Juliet, But I think some of you are a bit stuck in a rut and you may need to change things if you want to. But a lot of you will find that you're happy in a mess. I won't use the expression we use in England, but you may be in a bit of a mess with each other and you're so used to it you just carry on. Let's take a look at your third question. Wow, your third question is, will you ever meet your true soulmate? Which is backing up really what I've said, that this person may not be. And I get the impression from the spirit world that you two will sort of plod on together. And if you do part and go different ways, I believe, number 4, that unless you change something, you'll enter another romance which is very similar. It seems that you like the comfort of knowing what's going on. I don't necessarily think that you'll meet your soulmate, but I repeatedly say on these readings, soulmates are very rare. You don't find many that are with their soulmate. Everyone thinks they are, but very few people might meet their soulmate, and your soulmate can be your brother or sister. So the question is, will you ever meet your true soulmate? Possibly not, but prove me wrong. Win the jackpot with my lucky numbers for you, and you'll find that they come floating out the trees. People will fancy you a bit. I wonder why. But you can meet your true soulmate, but you may need to change your whole persona, the way you behave in romances, because you seem to be sort of plodding along in this one. And I think if you end this one, you'll kind of plod along in the next one as well. So if you want to meet your true soulmate, you may have to be a bit more, well, romantic, I suppose is the right word. Last question. Well, your last question, it really overlays the others. The last question for you, is he or she the man or woman of your dreams? If you do like plodding along, as I keep on saying, then the answer is yes. But they say you get what you deserve, and you may need, without lecturing you, you may need a bit more stimulation. Both of you, not just you. Him or she as well, he or she as well. It seems to be that you're a bit bored with each other, but you're putting up with it because it's better than nothing. That's probably the worst way of putting it. But is he or she the man of your dreams? For a lot of you, the answer is yes. It's as good as it gets. There's a film with Jack Nicholson, wasn't it? I think you can change it, but I think you'll have to make a concerted effort to do that. I hope that makes sense. Let's take a look before your lucky numbers. Let's take a look at 4 oracle cards. Let's see if they back up what I've told you. They've all been shuffled, and your first one is a water card. Pardon me. And that, oh dear. That looks a bit scary, doesn't it? Can you see that on the sea there? I'm not sure what that is. Looks like something from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This one says to you, number 4, somebody wants to help you. Think of who it might be and initiate contact. Who? Is it one of the family who wants to help you? Do you need help? You're not sleeping well, you're worried about something. Somebody wants to help you. Think about who it is and initiate contact. Make contact. I think you'll understand that better than I do, number 4, some of you. But somebody wants to help. Don't lose that, because it's important. The spirit guides wouldn't tell you these things if they weren't important. Next one's a fire card. We've had a lot of campfires tonight. That's a nice one. Sit around the campfire with a glass of beer or a cup of tea. How romantic. I think everyone dreams of doing that. How many of us really do it? This one says to you, events are happening at a fast pace. Many things will happen at once. So things are about to speed up for you, number 4. Events, perhaps you're going to win the jackpot with my lucky numbers. Events are happening at a fast pace. Many things will happen at once. So you better be ready. As I said, you're entering a lucky period. You won't be lacking sleep soon, unless because you're staying up too late celebrating winning with the lucky numbers. But events are happening fast, so be ready. Next one's a fire card again. This one is a tree with a moody looking sunset. Look at that, can you see that? Zoom in if you want to. This one says to you, courage and creativity are rewarded with abundant resources. So you need to be brave. You need to be creative. I think this romance needs you to be creative, if that's what we're looking at. And you'll be rewarded with abundant resources. Going back about those lucky numbers again here. Let's read it one more time. Change and creativity is rewarded with abundant resources. Be creative. Change things. Change this romance. Make it better. One more card. It's an air card. Oh, lightning. Lightning looks like the Rockies or somewhere like that. Trees on the cliffs there. Yeah, if you want to cast magic spells and you can do it in the thunder and lightning, that's the best time. The power of the universe is exaggerated and magnified when it's lightning. If you want to work your magic, as I do almost every night. This one says to you, let go of negative people in your life. They don't deserve your effort. Are you, a bit like number 3, I think, or number 2. Are you surrounded by negative people, number 4? Let go of negative people in your life. They don't deserve your effort. Don't make them go, don't hurt them. But if you've got negative people around, the oracle's saying get rid of them. So let them go. If you work with them, you can't. But don't be influenced by them. They're not worth your effort. That's what the message is. I hope you get that, number 4. I hope you're enjoying this, because I'm going to give you now 6 numbers that could change your life forever. These were chosen by me with my angels, my spirit guides, before we started filming tonight in beautiful North Devon, by the sea, in the UK, in England. If you've not been to North Devon, you don't know what you're missing. It's wonderful. So, your lucky numbers. These numbers may be familiar. They could be birthdays, addresses you've lived at, car number plates you've had, wedding anniversaries, divorce anniversaries. They could be important. So, if you want to get a pen, or just pause the video. And your lucky numbers are number 11, 21, 26, 31, 41 and 42. Do they ring any bells, number 4? Is it the day your kids were born? Is it a car number plate maybe? You may not need all 6, just put a couple of them on a lottery or a raffle or something, or a whole 6, or go to my other stacks. There's 6 lucky numbers in every stack. So they are, I'll give you again, number 11, 21, 26, 31, 41 and 42. These numbers could change your life forever. Please let me know below. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much for watching, for being one of our lovely family. But please consider subscribing. Give us a like if you like it. Share me with your friends. Click the bell icon, all that stuff that I always forget to tell you. But don't forget to subscribe. And if you click the bell icon, you'll never miss one of my videos, when I usually do 1 a week or 2 if I get a chance, because they do take a lot of time. It's been lovely talking to you wherever you are in this beautiful world. Remember, number 4, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you will be loved. And I love every one of you. Catch you later. Bye-bye.